All right, everyone. Turn that music down. Welcome to CVRcade. Let me see here. Say hello. Hello! On Rocky Mountain. Welcome to CVRcade broadcast, Zone K. This is our week here where we're on a little bit of a pause of our Derny Cup that is usually on Thursdays, but today we are doing a group ride, and we've got a good number of folks in the broadcast here. On board, we've got Homer and Elizabeth. We've got Jeff. Show you what the ride's going to look like. We're going to get started in just about 3 minutes. I'm opening up my audio to the folks in the game here. I've welcomed our friends on Mixer. I will say, as many of you guys come on to Mixer while I'm navigating the solo stream here by myself without the help of our producers, there might be some comments that I've missed. I've asked some of my friends and teammates if they see something in the Mixer chat and I am not able to respond to it, to throw it out into the conversation or message me to make sure that I don't miss it. So this one note, I know I went back and read some of the comments and I missed some things. So I apologize if I missed getting back to you. So we are riding on Rocky Mountain. This is the first activity today in about 2 minutes. Uncrashable is an ability. We've got a Comeback Kid, Quantum Shift here. You can see all behind me here. I'm covering the Uncrashable, but that's what that one is. And then the Comeback Kid, Quantum Shift, and Underdog. So if you do find yourself getting dropped off the back because we're going to be on that climb here, you can see the profile. It's a nice long climb. So my recommendation would be start in the little ring and just kind of try to flatten the road. Felt like a climb. We did Cityscape. Kind of feel like I want to escape from the city and sort of be out on an open road in the Rocky Mountains. So if we can all kind of imagine ourselves there. So let me just close that out here. I think I have some friends here on the broadcast here. Homer. Hey, welcome, Homer. See if I can open his mic, bring him into the broadcast.
Yeah, I just closed my mic up, so I'm back on now for a moment. I'll close it off again.
Ah, fantastic. Well, welcome. I know that if we were racing, this would be one of your favorite maps. How do you find this one to ride?
This is a good ride. I like it. I like the climb.
Well, we're going to go steady. We appreciate you being in here. I know that I think Elizabeth is also to your right, maybe there. So thank you for joining. I'll check in, go through the way. I think I also have Kayla. I'm keeping you up on camera right now for a while. Kayla, how are you today?
Hey, Beth, I'm doing great. And you?
Fantastic. Good to have you in the broadcast. Thanks for joining.
Yeah.
And I'm noticing here, making sure through, hey, Truth Triple X, I'm going to be trying to keep an eye on there here. 10 seconds to go. Caleb does lead some rides too, so she can help wrangle if I'm so busy talking. Let's just spin that up to about 250 to start. If we're at 250, we should be able to be behind any of the AI riders to keep us paced. One of the recommendations to keep us together would be to flatten the climb a little bit and spin it out here. But now I've got to get around because I'm slowing everybody down. Sorry guys, I've got to come to the front. There's Vanessa. It's like a ping, Badger. All right, when I get Quantum Shift, I'll come to the front so I don't slow down. So we've got leader on, and what we're seeing is that there's a distance, thank you, here we go, of which people cannot fly off the front. So that is set as an ability assigned to me, and this group is pretty well behaved. I'm not afraid of them flying off the front, but it does keep everyone together. So I'm going to move up. I've got a quantum shift here, number 4 in my below. I'm going to do that, and I'm going to come through, and I'm going to hop on the front. Thanks, Allison. So she moved over. There we go. All right. Now I'm on the front. Okay. Looks like we have also Vibeke on camera. Hey, Vibeke. Are you able to hear me okay? Looks like I do not have her audio. Might be my mistake. Hold on. I have you there. I had you muted. I'm learning how to use all these tools. Welcome.
Thanks. Nice to see you. I'll try to help you out with the mix of broadcast. Or typing.
I love it. I love it. Well, we had DK Mansuni. So if anyone does... Hey, Joyce is out here. Yay! Our teammate Joyce. I know we were hoping that she would join us. So thanks for joining us, Joyce. Vibeke will try to help chime in because I do run out of many brain cells trying to keep everything together. So let's just stay 250-ish on the front here as we climb. We'll add a little bit, and then we'll do a nice fast descent, and maybe we'll do a sprint to the line if we're all warmed up on it here. And let's see, we also have my friend Nigel. Hey, Nigel. I think you have to unmute. I think I've got you unmuted in the thing. Do I have you here? Yeah, you're unmuted on my side. I think you've got to unmute in the comms. No? We'll come back to you. We'll get that sorted here. So, Kayla.
Good now.
There you are, Nigel. All right.
Yeah, sorry.
Don't
Yeah,
worry.
sorry. You have to click on the microphone icon and turn it green.
Yep. I was figuring that out from last time as well.
Yeah.
Well, we're really happy to have you all in here. We've got 2 in our broadcast in video. We've got 2 of my teammates. We've got Kayla, who represents Team Hive, and we've got Homer, who represents Team Cognition. And, you know, then one of the first teams on the platform was Team CCC that Homer was actually on. And then Cognition formed and Hive has formed. And I'm kind of curious about the backstory of Hive, one of the most recent teams. Kayla, do you have anything to share?
Yeah, well, I know Timothy is, he was the creator and idea behind Team Hive. He was just trying to figure out a good team name, and Hive is what really just sprung to mind for him. Because, you know, he has also the, his for the Journey Cup, he's the Hive Hornets, and then for him and Glenn, and then for Jennifer, it's Jennifer and I are the Queen Bees. So that kind of worked out really nicely too. The Journey Cup as well as the team, the CVR World Cup team racing. But yeah, Timothy was the one who designed our jerseys too as well. So you can see that in game, just on our avatars and our skins. So props to Timothy for creating the jersey and having all the Hive and the design, and then with the flags on the side. But a very clean look, and it's just a great design, you know. So it's props to Timothy for creating the team, getting the team together, and creating such a cool skin in game.
Yeah, no, the design. I'm a visual person, so of course I'm loving the kit. Let me see. I'm gonna try to hop on your avatar specifically. Oh, there we are. You can see behind Shen. I'm going to slow down a little bit. Right to my right on my screen, number 5, there's Kayla. I also can move some of these widgets around. I'm not going to do it right now because I'm afraid I'm going to mess it up. I have it laid out a certain way. For success, I'll play with it as we get going here. But it looks great in the game. And then Team Cognition, Homer, your team, came together. I think the brainchild of Modi and Allison, and you've got quite, I would say that your team's probably one of the more organized teams in the sense of structural stuff, in terms of how you sort of structure your team. Do you have any insight on that? Are you able to talk about that?
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah. Well, one of the things that I think is sort of how, in World Cup racing, even before it was a team focus, you guys really set an example of what it means to be team players, where everybody, who cared, no matter what the prize pool was, you all kind of had a role to play and could share in it in a very unique way.
I might add that CCC was probably one of the first share teams.
Well,
Yep,
I'm sorry to cut in here. There's a question about why Team CC has stopped. What happened?
Well, you know what? I'm not really sure what happened. I had an option to ride with a friend of mine, Johnny Rocket. So I went ahead and chose to go with that option. And after that, I'm not really sure what happened to the rest of the team or why they broke up. I'm not positive what happened there.
I just actually am seeing Channel 1. I'd like to welcome Channel 1 to the broadcast. Hi, this is CVRcade, CVRcade.com. We are all riding. I think there might be some non-physical players in here too, but we are riding our bikes, and we are riding our bikes through this virtual environment on Rocky Mountain. This is a helicopter view. As a rider, I'm just changing my view by pressing the letter C so I can kind of move around. Over here to my, right here, this way, this way is the map and my rear view mirror. So I can make that a little bit bigger to draw attention to it here. So you can see I'm that red dot, I'm just coming to the top. I've got Timothy in front of me, Sally to my right, and we're all riding. We're getting prepared to go down the descent here of it. So thank you guys for joining. I think that would be kind of cool to talk about. Nigel, you're one of the big racers here. When you race this particular map, what are some of your strategies?
It depends on the power-ups. There's a couple of little rises where if you can build up speed and then you hit a power-up, now called a super, you can hold on to your speed, and then you go up the hill and you can get quite an advantage over other riders.
Yeah, that last little bump is we're looking at that speed differential, I think, is what makes a big difference.
Yeah.
If people are still climbing.
Yeah.
This is my... Go ahead.
Sorry, yeah. It's a track that a breakaway can do quite well on. If you can get a lead, break the field up, get out on your own, you actually can do quite well on this one.
Yeah, we've seen it speaks to different strengths because you do have to be able to climb. You do have to be able to know where to do those attacks. Right now, over my shoulder here is Badger in the team. I think that's Badger. In Team Cognition Kit. Oh, it's Homer. I'm sorry. It's Homer. You can see Homer. That's him behind me. And then he's up in the top of the screen here. He's riding his bike. He's got a few thousand bikes behind him, which is pretty awesome. So I have bike envy. So this is, we're riding on our smart trainers through the virtual. Right now, I'm going to change my views a little bit. We're on the descent. And I am in this kit here that matches the kit in the game. A kit is just a cycling term for jersey, and it's what we would race in. So we have our kits in the game. Looks like Badger's going off the front here, demonstrating maybe a little bit of a push on the descent. If we were racing and we were flying down, I can still get a draft on his wheel. So as I get closer to him, let me change my mini camera. Whoops. So if you look to the camera view, I just changed to my, that way. It's like a weather person trying to do it. You can see I've got sparks flying because I'm overlapping his wheel. So what I need to do is I need to just soft pedal a little bit, maximize my draft. On the bottom bar, right below me here, is my draft percentage and the grade and the effort that I'm putting in, my speed and my heart rate. So my heart rate, 113 BPM. We're doing 45 kph. Right now I'm getting a 37% draft. So when you're racing, the draft is super important. Vibeke, I know that one of your favorite courses is Summit Island. Now, is that because if you ditch some people and drop them, they can't draft you, or is it the mountain bike, or what is it?
I think it's the mountain biker in me that's talking to this course, because I love the really hard hill that's at the end. Like, I can't remember the percentages, but it's 12, 15. And what I tend to see is that most people lose a lot of speed at the end. And I'm mostly able to keep my pace up there. So 3 laps on that one, and I'm happy.
Yeah, and it does seem like too when the event designers, which I don't design races, I've been chiming in on how these rides get structured. It's always like you get a weight-lifted super and a razor super, like 2 less than the number of laps. Oh, everybody's dropping their supers right now because they know it's the end. Let me pick it up a little bit. So I'm the leader, so people have a short leash on how fast they can go ahead of me. And everyone's dropping those quantum shifts, meaning they're going to be able to phase through people. Let me see. Who's at the line? It looks like Nigel. Was it Nigel? I saw. Yeah.
Not me.
Different. Maybe it was Jeff. I'll have to check in. So we're not racing today on CVRcade. We're doing a group ride. We're taking a pause. If you're just joining us, we're taking a pause from all of the action in the racing for the reason of the state of the world. We're taking a little bit of a pause. We know that social distancing is really the name of the game, and I think everybody's social media feed, I'm going to click on some of these and mute some of them. Everybody's social media feed is filled with, hey, I did this Zoom call, and I did this, Uber conference, or I did whatever, and it's been kind of cool because, you're seeing people get connected. It's one of the things that we have been doing at CVRcade all the time, is having these broadcasts really bringing the world together. And I think on my team I have New Zealand, Australia, Canada, Denmark, Sweden. I have, that's just like on one small section of our team. We have people from all over the globe, and it really brings us together, particularly in a time where we really need each other. And, I don't want to get emotional or sentimental or worse, bring it down, because we're about getting our fitness, being socially distanced, but sharing the love. Okay, so on Lakeview Circuit, instead of having like a 4-race omnium with different points multipliers, what we're doing on this one is we're going to try to do a lap time challenge. So there are corner speeds that you don't want to exceed, or you'll slide and crash out. There, I believe this is the one, I'll tell you if I get to it. There's some obstacles, or this might be the flat one. But one of the most fun things about this game, if you're not racing, is chasing down lap times. And the way that you do that, let me go back. I'm going to bring some new faces on. We've got Modi on there. Well, there it is. I just showed you. That's what I'm going to crash into. So Modi's on camera. I'll come to you in a moment, Modi. We've got, looks like Badger. Badger's on camera here. I'll come to you in a minute. We also got Ryan on camera there. I'll be popping around here and checking in with you guys on this. I'm going to change my lanes so I don't crash. In 1 minute, let's all do the first lap together as a group. People can shout out the corner speeds. I think I have my maps open. Watch your lane position. If you do get dropped, don't worry about it. This is, 250, 300 on the front in terms of equalized watts, probably like 36, 38 kph. I'll try to hold down the front for the first lap, and not in terms of a leader, but in terms of just trying to keep a pace normal. Learn where those obstacles are. When we get to lap 2, everybody is going to separate and do their own thing. It might turn into a race, might feel like a race, but really we're trying to do our personal best on the lap time. So how do we do that? 14 seconds. I'm going to first demonstrate where I find the lap leader. Again, casual pace out of the gate here, guys. So I go to this little blue icon, which basically is my UI control. I'm going to open laps leaderboard, and you can see that I probably should put on drafting. We are equalized, and we don't have any power-ups on this one. Good old raw fashion. It's like, Ryan, I see you there ordering your pizza. So, nice to support local businesses. 227, Ryan. Talk to me about 227.
Sorry, what's 227? Sorry,
That's you're number 1 on the leaderboard by 3 seconds. Quentin behind you with drafting, equalized, and physical.
Oh wow! I didn't even know I was there.
Yeah, and you're so humble. Oh, then you can see.
Well, I'm very surprised because my biggest recollection of this is when I think I was coming back in an Omnium against Quentin and Niels and those guys. Yeah, so maybe it was that race where I had some really good laps and then I crashed on the last one and let him have it anyways. So I think I was on the course to a big comeback, but I didn't quite complete it with that lap there.
Okay, well, I think people are going to be gunning for that time. Watch the. Whoa! I just crashed. So what's interesting about these obstacles for everybody that we learn on this front lap, if you get to the start finish banner and you want to go, that's cool because you're ahead of me. I just crashed. Is that the lane shift? So remember, if you're in one lane and you clear the obstacles, the next time you just got to shift over just one lane position. Our demonstrators there are showing what not to do. Modi, welcome to the broadcast. Oh, I had to unmute you. My bad. Hold up. And go ahead.
Thanks. I missed the first event barely, but now I'm here excited to participate and see all the familiar faces on my screen in-game with the comms channel open and everybody's videos or everybody's webcams. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, we knew that the game had that feature all along, but it's one of those ones that we weren't really utilizing so much. So it's kind of cool to bring it in. It is like, everyone's doing those like Zoom calls, and there we go. I just hopped on board with you while I'm talking to you. So this is Modi's POV, guys. You can see his cognition kit. Looks like Badger is also up ahead there on his right-hand side up here. So they're going to be coming to the start-finish. I'm going to let you stay focused. So make this lap count.
Here we go.
Here we go. So spin it up. 227. Beat Ryan. Okay? You can do it. I'm on board here with Frank, who must have came across the line earlier. He's pushing 500 watts here, 180 on his heart rate here. Now, I don't have his interface to see his lap time. Maybe we can ask him as he goes. But it looks like he came to the start-finish banner first. This is not a race. It's a race against the clock. On board here with Allison. Allison is also pushing 500 equalized watts, 187 on her heart rate. I'm going to move this over so you can see. I'm actually, whoop, it's control, whoop. Bring over the nearby riders list so you can see that There we go. Front riders here. Frank, Allison, Modi. Hop on with Modi. All right. Allison was just getting to those gates here, and then Modi right behind her, going for those gates here. Further on down the way, I'm going to move this back over so I can see the whole list. So these widgets are configurable, and what I'm doing is using my two screens to be able to pop back and forth. So when you get finished with your lap, shout it out. We don't have the same like hand raise icon, so I'll have to kind of do a check here. Looks like down the way, Vibeke here. Let's see here. Vibeke does have her camera on. Show Vibeke. There she is. She's working. Oh, I messed you up! I knew it! Even in a practice run. That's all right. Just one lap of... So I'm going to unmute you here for a second. Vibeke, what did I do to you? What did I do to you?
Nah, this was my own fault. I wasn't paying attention to the map. So, I just realized that, yeah, the fences were coming up. And I thought I was in the right lane, but it's hard to tell when you're coming around the corner.
You know what? It really is. Well, I'm going to let you catch your breath. I'll get back. I see Joyce out there on course as well. She might not be in the broadcast here. Let's go on board with Badger here. He's still working. It looks like he's 450 kilowatts. I'm not going to go and talk to him, except he's about to come across the line for his lap here. Once he gets there, we'll see if he can give him 10 seconds to recover.
221.75.
221.75. Is that what I hear? Is that for
All
right, I've muted you, Ryan. I think that was you that was talking. I've opened up Kevin's mic. Kevin, how did you fare? Whoop, I'm not hearing you. I think I might have to press that button. No? I will. That's okay. I'll come back to you. No worries. Modi, how did you... whoops, I just closed you out, Modi. 1 second here. How did you fare on that one?
Good. 221.75.
221.75. I'm going to actually close out of... Let me just click and change. Yep, it's up there now. Under... There you are at the top of the pile. 221.75. Nice job. Nigel, 222. I don't know if that was set today. Let's ask him. Great job, Moody. So we'll do one recovery and then we'll go, hey, Nigel, did you just post that 222?
Yeah, that was set today, 222.54.
Nice.
So, yeah.
What was your time before?
I can't remember. I should have noted it down.
That's all right. Nice work.
Well, there you go. Better than the last time, yeah. So I was 8th the last time.
Nice. I'm going to clip your mic, a little bit of wind noise there. Channel 1, I did, I'm not sure if you've already left and if anyone's still sticking around, thank you so much for joining us. CVRcade.com is where you can find the game. We're riding our bikes, we're dealing with social distancing, but as you can see, we've got them up on camera in the broadcast. Looks a little bit different. If you've come into the broadcast, it looks a little bit different than what you've seen before. I'm going to pop into the mixer chat. If DK Mansuni is in here, I wanted to apologize I didn't get to you last time about the Velocity shirt. We don't have any, and I think there might be some supply chain issues, but it would make me feel so honored if you were interested in showing your support for the team. So let's see. Are you out of breath? Beth is riding her own bike. Yep, connected trainer. Truth X. We will get through this. We really, really will. Let's see here. Making sure I try to stay on top. Again, thanks to Channel 1 and any of the viewers who stayed with us through Channel 1. You know, one of the things that we were talking about, let me just change some camera views here, back on board with Homer. Homer might be on lane lap 3 here as you recover. We'll all get onto lap 4 and we'll do another push on lap 4. We're all spread out over the course, which is kind of what we expect when we do these lap challenges. So as I kind of pop through, I'm looking, and Homer does look like he's still pushing 400 watts. I'll come back to Modi in a second. Let me see if Homer looks like he's working here. You can see him on camera. I'm not going to come to you right now, Homer. I want you to stay focused on your lap time, and then you can shout it out. So this allows us here to practice the laps and try to get a better time and be at our own pace. You know, this is a mountain bike theme. One of the things that we were on before was Rocky Mountain, and we were on a road theme. Now we're on a mountain bike theme. Oh! I did have a game crash.
220.01.
Nice one. Nice one. I'm going to ask you, Kayla, to take over, letting me know when the team is finished with the last lap. I'm going to just exit out of my game here and come back here and be here. Hello! I knew I was pushing the bounds of all of my technology here. This is CVRcade. The riders are still out on Lakeview Circuit with a lap and a half to go. Sorry about that. My computer had a little hiccup, which sometimes it does. It gets temperamental. You know, I just have to talk nicely to it and say, come on, computer, don't be so sleepy tired. And again, I'm just grateful that we do have internet, and that I do have a computer that's allowing me to hang out with my friends. So first what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to that track so I can join them on audio. So right now I won't be within the event that they're on, but I'll be able to communicate with them. So same thing happens if you are joining us.
Yeah, nice job on beating the record. That's
rejoining.
Yeah. I'm sure the live audience also helps compared to doing this with bots or solo of each other in the broadcast and the mixed broadcast too. So lots of extra incentives. We could have Alex Hutchinson study it or something.
All right, I am back. So I think that was Kayla talking. I'm sorry to talk over you guys.
yeah, we still got 1.3 kilometers left, huh?
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I'm back on the track. I just am in a different place than you. I came in mid-conversation. Was there a couple new PRs that I overheard?
We haven't had any new ones yet. We have Jeff is at the top of the 220, but we were just going over how nice it is to have the laps and segment leaderboard and just try and beat our personal times with everybody on.
Yeah, I think it's a fun format. One of the other sort of suggestions that I had was that maybe we could do one of the elimination type races. We haven't done that. Can you describe how the elimination works? Oh, I crashed.
Yeah. Hey, nice go, BBK. That's awesome. Way to go. Yeah, but the elimination format, how that works is that you can set up in the event configuration. So it just depends. It eliminates how you have it set up.
Yep.
It eliminates the person in last place. And then depending on, so if you can set it up, it starts eliminating after a certain lap. You can have it start eliminating the person in last place. After the third lap, the fourth lap, however you have it configured up. And then until there's one rider remaining. And then that's when the race is. So if you have 20 people, say, and you have it start eliminating after the first lap, it will eliminate that rider in last place after each lap until that one rider is remaining. So it's a very fun event configuration to set up.
Awesome. Well, I am trying to, how much further in this one event? I'm still hanging in Lakeview Circuit.
Yep, point 1 and point 0. So first place just across the finish line right now.
Fantastic. All right, I'm making sure that I get, right now, everybody, if you you don't see my interface, but let me just, I'm being portaled to the next event, which is good news. And let's see if I can do that. Nope, it's not showing up. That's okay. Let me just see here. So this is Temple Run. This one, we did one group ride. We did one, all of the riders are going to come back in. I'm going to just be softly muting their microphones as they come in. But I'm trying to get it back. You can see the UI so I can share the map with you, as well as the camera views of the folks that are in the pen. It looks like we have, it's warm-up time. They're waiting for the prior event. I'm going to go ahead and do one more thing. And I'm going to reboot this one more time and see if I can wake up my camera. This is CVRcade. We are going into our third event in Zone K of this Omnium. We're going to do the whole thing again at the top of the hour with Zone L. So if you're just joining us on Mixer, let's see here. If you have any questions, do an elimination with Attack the Middle. Ooh, I like that idea. That would be fun. I did try to do Attack the Middle the other day, and it was really, really fun. But when you start sliding out and you have other riders on course, it's a whole different can of worms, as one might say here. So let's see here. Yay! I see it all happening. I'm back here, guys. Looks like I'm in the right event. Let's see if I can see Homer's camera. Let's see if I can. Interesting. I might not be able to bring these guys back into the broadcast. I'm going to try here. So, that's why. You know what? Don't even. I'm going to be able to just do this 100% on the fly. I'm just going to make it happen. Widget. No, let's see. Not that one. Stay with me here. I'm going to let Kayla, let's see, where is Kayla in my comms here? If Kayla can give me, is she not back yet? Kayla will give a hand. This is Temple Run. It has a climb coming up the on the ascent. There's no obstacles. It does some twisty turnies, and that's just kind of the way that there it is. I got it. Some twisty turnies on the way up of that's the wrong display. And then on the way down, you go under the waterfall, and on the way down, you do have some obstacles that we are going to practice avoiding. So we'll be riding as a group, and we'll be trying to avoid those obstacles. We'll do a couple pushes on the climb. Looks like we've got 3 minutes, 3 minutes to go, and I am still fighting with this. And it doesn't matter. I do have the game up and open. Let's see here. This is what I've got. And you will be able to watch me, and we'll all regroup. What I'm trying to do is get back the ability to see the riders, which are really way more interesting than me. And I might have to change my screens to see if I can do it here. Does that work? This might work. Flipping my screens. I think when I restarted, let's see here. Boop, boop, boop. Boop, 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 boop. Hey! Now we're all kinds of crazy. That's all right. I made it much smaller. It's going to come together. There we go. And all right, we've got Kayla in there. Let's bring Kayla up. Kayla, I would love your assistance to talk through the top of this ride while I try to just sort my UI so I can see it in the stream. So we're going to stay together. maybe 300 watts and then do some pickups and then get to the top and practice the descent. So if you want to talk people through it while I do that, it'd be great.
Yep, we got Vanessa as a sweeper, so this is a ride event where we have Beth as the leader and then Vanessa as a sweeper. So we'll just we'll work together on the ascent. So we got 9.7 kilometers for the full activity, and 2 laps total as well. So we'll be going up the ascent twice and going down the descent twice. And then we can have some intervals in there, but we'll just aim for around 200 to start off with, and then we can do different intervals going up and attacking the descent.
So Kayla, let me ask you, whoops, I think I had your mic down. If you want to say to the mixer audience, it might be redundant, but they might not have heard that because I had your mic down. If you want to repeat what we're going to do on this in about 40 seconds.
Yeah, we have a ride event set up. So the last one was just feeding the laps and leaderboard time segments for each lap, but this one is a ride event. So we have Beth as the leader, we have Vanessa as the sweeper, so we can all work together. The temple run has a quite long ascent in the beginning, and then we have a descent. There's a total of 2 laps, making it a total of 9.7 kilometers. So we can, out of the gate, we can focus on just spinning out 200 equalized watts, and then we can call out when we're going to be changing intervals and going to a higher pace. But we can work together right now, going right out of the gate. Alrighty. Alright, so we're out of the gate. Currently we haven't reached the hill yet. We're on a 0% grade. Getting the legs spinning. The thing about Temple Run 2 is that it's got quite a bit windy ascent. Usually we have to go over around 45, 46 kph to crash, but Uncrashable is on during this, so no need to worry about crashing into each other. I'm taking advantage of the draft right now. I'm right behind Timothy.
What kind of a draft are you getting right now?
Right now, with just being behind Timothy, I have 36%, so just getting behind one rider, you can be quite efficient with saving the legs, especially since right now we're on a 0.8% grade, so it's not too intense, but it's going to gradually increase, and half of this map is ascent, and then you go to the descent. So it's good if you're just trying to spin out the legs. We're still aiming for that 250 equalized watts. Just getting the legs going. And this is what I was talking about, how it's a windy ascent all the way up. But really beautiful map. Got the northern lights up above. It's a great ride activity to do all together.
I love this map when we've raced it, and these little wiggles on the way up. It looks like my computer. I didn't talk nicely enough to it, so it's not pulling up. In between events, I'll see if I can do another little trick. It somehow in the course of it like flip-flopped my monitors, so that was a surprise. So wait, don't we have a name? What's the name of the waterfall at the top? Does Modi remember the name of it? Modi, I've got your mic open.
Vermont Piers.
Now, where did it get that name?
Oh, it was after one day where it was just a brutal climb in a race, and Timothy was complaining about it, and looking to claim features of landmarks, and it seemed to fit. So,
well,
it preceded any actual tiers that happened in higher stakes events later on. So it was in good fun when we did it.
Yeah, I love. We have another map, Modi. What is the? Whoops, I didn't mean to mute you. Another map that has a Castrip corner. So people have been being named. It's kind of an honor to be named in a CVRcade map.
Yep. I think we had a poll in the user group to name the column that's lying about halfway or 2/3 of the way down the descent.
Yep.
And I can't remember what it was or what one. It might have been Frank's bench. Somebody in the mixer chat can go look it up for us.
Okay, all right, that's a challenge. You know, we're playing CVRcade Trivia. If you're just joining CVRcade Trivia, Termontiers, you'll win the big prize. When we come to the top, let's see here. I'm changing some of the camera views. We're almost at the top. You can see I'm on board there. That's Kayla ahead of me. That's the helicopter view. But let's get a nice view of Termontiers when we get to the top here.
Yeah, we're about to approach the end of the ascent, and then we'll be on a flat grade for about 0.1 kilometer. So we'll start going down the descent.
So talk to me, if people got dropped, we had underdog. They could have used underdog.
Yeah, underdog gives you 100 watts. It's multiplied 100 watts to your actual watts that you're putting out, equalized watts, and it multiplies that for each person. So if I was going to do the underdog and deploy that super, I wouldn't get as much of a benefit since I only have one rider in front of me. I'd only get multiplied by 100 equalized watts, but if someone's 18 riders down, it's going to multiply 18 times 100, so you'll get 1,800 watts. So you can really take advantage of that if you're in the back. You need to get some nice equalized watts.
So now on this descent here, there are some corner speeds that you do need to be mindful of. Most of the people in this ride know, but in a race, I think it's easy to forget what those corner speeds are. And there's also some obstacles. If you're playing the game, you can move left and right using your arrow keys. But I've got the rear view mirror on my main camera here, which is kind of one of my favorite views, especially with the northern lights here on Temple Run behind me. Just shout out to the artists who have been, this isn't even one of our newer maps, but it was one of the ones that I just love. The sky makes me feel happy when I'm on it. But I'm going to turn my view back around here to see the corners, and I know we've got some obstacles coming up. So let's all do the friendly thing with our riders in a big group like this. See Frank coming through the middle using his underdog there, giving us a nice demonstration of what that looks like. I think he can't break through. He's also demonstrating what you can't do with the leader function on. And so we're not letting him get off the front. He'll have to save all that extra energy.
Frank's bench, or the fifth column, right here in the center after this S-bend.
Oh, this is Frank's bench up here? Okay.
Or something. I think it ended up getting named after Nels.
All right, so everybody watch your lane position. Everyone make room. Oh, it's this guy. All right. Side, finish, leader, helicopter free, me, badger, backwards, bike. That's what I needed to see. There goes Nigel. I think we all made it through without crashing here.
We do have Uncrashable on, Beth.
We can ride through them.
Oh, you have Uncrashable on. See, this is what all the time I'm thinking, like, be careful, watch your neighbors. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it is great practice, though. You know, even though Uncrashable is on, you can kind of, if you're not too familiar with the map, you can kind of anticipate those obstacles approaching. Because I know that we practice a lot in my classes that we do, and we have Uncrashable turned on as an ability, but it's able for us when we have people joining and everything, we get big crowds, then you're still able to anticipate and be able to practice. And you're not going to crash, but at least you can anticipate and practice for when Uncrashable is off as an ability.
Yeah, and I think go ahead.
I think Uncrashable, of all the abilities in game, might be the one that I wish existed for the real world at this point.
I know.
So it feels like too much great responsibility all around.
Yeah.
Should we try to get a high pace interval right here for a little bit, Beth? So I think we
Yeah,
have
let's do it.
before
I'm
we
gonna
go.
let you lead it up here. I'm still. I'll follow your lead. I think I might be still the leader, but yeah, let's do it. Let's give a little bit of a push.
Okay, sounds good, because we're at 250 equalized watts right now, so we could just push it up to 350 and then do that for an interval. All right, so, all right, 3, 2, 1, let's bring it up.
Vanessa, I don't know if you're pulling hard here. Could you answer a question that's come up on the mixer? It's about the membership. If there's a membership you have to pay for, or what was it called?
Event pass are only for the World Cup, like the Solo Cup, Journey Cup. For these rides, you can join. No event pass needed.
Oh, okay.
I'll say that a little bit louder. I heard you, Vanessa. Thanks for chiming in. CVRcade is free to play. If you are racing in one of the cups, then there is a fee for that. Did I say that correctly, Vanessa? Oh, she might be muted. It's okay. But no, you could download the game right now and you could join these rides with us. You could join these rides with us physically or not physically. Are we still pushing 350? Are we still in that interval? I just realized I started to slow down.
Yeah, we're doing that. I was just going to do it for another around 5 seconds before it gets to the next grade. We're currently on a 0% grade, and it's going to go up.
The question was actually about the Rider's Pass.
Okay, now we can bring it back down to 250.
Sorry.
No, that's okay, Vibhuka. Thank you so much. I appreciate you bringing the questions in from the chat here. So the Rider Pass allows you to compete in the cup events, but...
So, hold on. I'm sorry. Rider Pass is for the bling. So different rides, different skins. Events Pass is for the World Cup leagues.
Thank you for the clarification. Thank you.
Great to have you here, Vanessa.
Did that answer it, DK Mansoudi? Vibhuka, thank you so much for making sure we're watching in on the mixer. Thank you, guys. I really do appreciate you joining. We've got DK Mansoudi, Wim, Mod KG's doing an excellent job of answering the questions and fielding stuff. Agent Bad Karma was in earlier suggesting do an attack the middle elimination ride, which sounds super fun. Am I pushing too hard on the front? No, 250. Felt like it there for a minute. I must not be drafting efficiently, or maybe I am. Let me see. I'm right behind Kayla. I'm doing a good job here.
Yeah, we're just still sticking at the 250. We're at a 2.2% grade right now, so just making sure that you can get a higher cadence and everything. If you want to help the legs, just going up the grade, because we have a little bit on the ascent before we get to the flat grade, and then we're going to be going down the descent again.
Excellent, excellent. At the end of this map, we're going to go to a race to end the day. Kayla, do you want to do another interval before we go down the descent?
Yeah, we can do that.
What do you think, another 350?
Yeah, I think 350 works really good. We're at 250 right now. We can punch it up a little bit. We got around 2 kilometers to go. So, ready to go?
All right, let's do it. 350?
All right. Let's get it in 350.
So what we're talking about, folks on the stream, is our watts on our legs. Watts are not on our legs. Watts are power that's generated from our legs. You can see, whoa, underdog, boom, right into me. Sorry, I didn't change lanes. Sorry, Ben. We've got a little bit of a push here. I can't show you on my screen right now, but doing 350 equalized watts, and even if one of these other riders 350 equalized watts, we're going to go the same speed thanks to equalization. If you're max power is one number in an unequalized setting, and the max power is different. So in other words, Homer out on the street would dust me, drop me. So would Modi and a number of these riders would. But in the game, we can all ride together thanks to physical equalization, because the game remembers what our max efforts are. And like a golf game, it kind of uses a system to make us all equal. So one of the questions that came up in a message to me was these corner speeds on the descent. Oh yeah, right, we can go right through those rocks. Because uncrashable is an ability.
And then we can bring it down to 250 if you want. We did a pretty good interval right there with 250.
Sure, sounds good. So on these descents here, you can see that people are spread out across the lanes. The speed, depending on its arc, how tight it is, if it's a hairpin, if it's a long sweeping. There's some advanced math and physics that goes on, coefficients of this, that, or the other thing. We'll have to maybe give Modi an opportunity to give us a math lesson on that in a minute. I just like saying coefficient. Makes me laugh. But so if you go through just like on a car, you're not going to speed off an off-ramp, doing 80 miles per hour or 100 kph. You're going to be slowing down so you don't slide out. Same thing on the bikes. You do slide across the lanes, and if you exceed it, you crash. But Modi, talk to me about cornering, about apex, about picking the line. I figure, but remember, we're going to give you a time limit because I know you could give us a whole lesson. In 1 minute or less, talk to me about corner dynamics.
Well, you want not to fall, so you just try not to fall. I'm probably the least qualified to answer that question. Can
I put you on the spot? I feel like you're super
I think I was able to do the camp with CVR in LA, but that was the first time I had real outdoor skills and drills. Coming to cycling mainly through e-racing for fitness. My journey has sort of been in the opposite direction, whereas I think like Nigel and some other riders in the broadcast have raced a lot more competitively outside. Ben as well, Jeff too, who can speak to how this works on the road. In fact, most of my miles are indoors on a trainer with my hectic schedule in life. So, I think I'm probably better at cornering in this game than in real life.
Allison with her underdog. Looks like Kayla and Timothy also operating there, trying to push to the front. Frank comes through, but he does get, I don't like to use the word clothesline, but it kind of looks like that. And through the game, and that is 2 laps down on Kayla's mountain bike. Oh, looks like, let's see here. We had some messages coming through. What you can't see on my screen, which I would have liked to have shown you, is I have just sort of what my power was throughout, how many bumps I did, how that all kind of shook out, and I can see that I wasn't that efficient on that ride, which is unfortunate. You can see the red portaling. We're going to dark matter velo. I've got about 3 minutes before the race here. I am going to wait between this event and the next event. I think I have a little bit more time, and I'm going to open and close the game and reflip my things without interrupting the stream. So let's talk about this map a little bit here. We've got Ben, it looks like, in the broadcast. Ben, Team Hive, talk to me about Dark Matter Velo. What is the trick to this map?
You might be talking to the wrong person. I think you might want Timothy from Team Hive.
You're under his tutelage, though, and he's not in the broadcast. So by default, you're the man now. You've got to talk to me.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you've got to keep an eye on the speed at all times, really. This race, you just end up staring at the speedo the whole time. And it's just a matter of braking just enough to reach the desired speed before the bend, but also not letting off the gas at the same time. So you sort of end up braking and pedaling together to try and get that correct speed, but still be on the power. So it's tricky, for sure. When you add to that quite a number of people out on the track at the same time, it gets pretty crazy. But yeah, it's never been my favourite track. I'm not ashamed to say that. I did win one race on this once. But there you go. That's just try and stay upright, obviously.
Now, do you like to be on the inside lane or the outside lane? Because each one of these has a different speed that is the maximum. And I know some people race really fast to the inside. Some people like to be on the outside. Where is your favorite spot to be?
Well, generally on the inside, because I've sort of memorised the lane speeds on the inside more than I have any other lane. But I did do a bit of sort of testing here and there, and I think you can still get some pretty good times on the other lanes because you're carrying more speed into the straight when you're coming out the corner. But it's quite hard to actually go around the corner quite as fast in the same time as you would if you were taking the shortest line. So I'm not so sure. I think the jury's probably still out on which lane is the absolute quickest if you nail every acceleration and every bend perfectly. So that's a big hit.
Well, I just pulled up, and I can't pull it up on the screen. Like I said, I'm going to wait till the end of this one. But best lap time, drafting, equalized, and physical with no power-ups, which is the configuration that we're racing it in about 18 seconds. I'll let you catch your breath, is 28.591 by your teammate, Ben, Timothy Termont. So 10 seconds to go. I'm going to call this race. I'm going to turn off my camera so you don't have to see me, so you can see all the action. 3, 2, 1, out of the gate they go, and we're gonna get on board with, let's see, I'm gonna get to the front here. Promise I'm gonna get up there. No. All right. Back on board here. It looks like Jeff chasing down his friends here on the front. I'm not going to go to him, but Frank is on the front, uninterrupted by anyone. Frank really demonstrates on this map how to get out in front, and he's just got he's got Ryan up there with him, trying to push on the front. Ben's up there with him, but it does look like Timothy did go down. I didn't have Timothy in current track to ask him, but that's a surprise because, as you heard from Ben, Timothy is the master. He's done fast tracks with us here on CVRcade on Dark Matter Velo. But Frank on the front, Ben 2 seconds back, Kayla 1 second back from Ben. Ben and Kayla kind of duking it out here. You can see side by side here. On the left-hand side is Ben. On the right-hand side is Kayla on the straightaway, accelerating. Right now they're at 34 kph. Kayla drops down to 32 kph within the corner speed, because if they slide out into into one of those game barriers, they're going to crash down, as you see those avatars that don't move actually did there. Frank still on the front, Kayla in second wheel, 2 seconds back, Ben right behind on her. Ryan can see up the map here on board with Ryan on the right-hand side of your screen. Ben coming through the center, maintaining that center lane, making sure, Ben did say in the lead up that he wanted to make sure that he avoids some of the congestion. So I think he sees all the riders on the inside lane. It's forcing him to go to the outside lane, but he is not shaken at all. He's riding very controlled and very composed. But if the big headline, which is not really a headline because Frank knows this course inside out, 800 equalized watts, pushes that speed, drops it down on the brake down to 33, slowing it down to navigate that corner. When I say fractions of a speed, like 33.4, he might have dropped it down. But Kayla is on his heels by about 2 seconds here, on board with Kayla here. You can see her chasing down. I'm going to stop pedaling because there's no reason. I'm just going to be in people's way. We've got third wheel. We've got Ryan here on third here. We've got 1.5 kilometers to go on this Dark Matter Velo race. One of the earliest and most favorite obstacle type courses in the sci-fi theme. We've seen road courses, we've seen mountain bike courses, and now we are seeing the sci-fi theme. The Tron bike type movie, futuristic. Ryan did go down. That's what we did just see him smack into that. I wonder if he just didn't get to his hand controls fast enough. But Frank on the front, he's got Kayla on his heel there. Just changed the point of view to see Kayla on Frank's heels there. She is within striking distance to make a difference. 1.1 kilometers to go. There are no supers. No mistakes can be made here on these final ones. Kayla moves to the inside. Frank is calm. Kayla can see some congestion up the road there of other riders being respawned as Frank doesn't. He comes right along the inside of that other avatar of Jeff. Jeff might be a lapped rider there. Frank in the first position, Kayla in second. Ryan still running it down. Back on board here with Ryan. He is looking up the part. We've got Allison. I'm clicking on Allison here. Allison's point of view coming across the line here. And then Ben right behind Allison on the outside, not wanting to get caught with that carnage on the outside. There are some slower riders up the way that might slow him down on this lane, preventing him from making up time. So he's probably going to have to navigate around that. But back on the front, 0.6 kilometers to go is Frank on the front, calm, cool, and collected. We've got... I'm going to mute that. I hear some spinning here. Got some channels that are open here. There we go. Sorry about that, folks. Frank on the front. Kayla, this is going to be a big finish. Kayla and Frank, neck and neck, side by side. I'm going to stay here. Keep it with these guys right here. You can see some traffic up the way. Might be lapped riders here. They've got one lap to go. I saw it drop down to 0 there for a quick second. Will it be Frank? Will it be Kayla? Side by side. Ryan's 10 seconds back. Going to have it duking it out here with Alan. This is Ryan and Allison on their last lap. We'll come back and check with them in a moment. But Kayla and Frank, no mistakes can be made. Can Kayla overtake Frank at the line? Will she overcook it? Can she maintain her composure? We have just got just fractions left, and it looks like she wasn't able to overtake him. 1-2, Frank, Kayla, so close. Now I'm on board with Allison. Ryan did seem to drop back a little bit from Allison. Allison is taking that third spot across the line. Now on board with Ryan taking fourth, and Ben on his heels by 2 seconds, sees him cross the line, and there we go. All right, that is, we've got a few more pieces. We've got Vibeke finishing up out on course, and Homer finishing up out on course, and Peter, yay, I see Peter in the broadcast, my teammate Peter, so nice to have you out on course. I hope you're taking it easy. Jeff, Badger, thank you all for joining us. We've got to get to the next event. Let's see, I'm going to leave the event in Zone L. It's time to warm up on Rocky Mountain. I'm not sure if everybody's going to get over here. 40 seconds to the next event. I am going to see if I can do a quick change-o. Kayla, if you're there, if you can take over again on the comms, talking through this group ride, Zone L, starting over here, and I will see if I can get my track viewer back up one last time. Are you there?
Yes, yeah, can you hear me?
I can hear you, yes.
Okay, great. Yeah, so the event is starting pretty quickly. We got the activity is starting pretty quickly. It's 10 seconds until it starts. But again, this is a ride event, so we have Beth as the leader and Vanessa as the sweeper. So you can go at your own pace. We're going to try to shoot for just 200. Keep the legs moving, and we can drop it back a little bit, and just seeing how the group is keeping up. I know a lot of us went from Dark Matter Velo and Zone K to Zone L, so we'll just try to keep it at a consistent, nice speed, because I know a lot of us put out a lot of effort in Dark Matter Velo. But it's great. There's just so much variety in CVRcade. we have the challenges where you can try to beat your best lap time. We have the rides where you can ride as a group, having a designated leader and sweeper. Nobody can go past the leader, depending on how the ride is configured. So we have it set up so the rider can go at least 10 meters or 20, I'm trying to be positive, but they can go a certain amount of meters ahead of the leader, and then that's the same with the sweeper. So just being able to all stay together and being able to, we're getting onto the grade now. We're at a 2.9% grade. And you can see that I am in the back a little bit, just trying to get my breath, but that's why Vanessa is here too as well, because then she can keep us all as a group. And, if someone is fading a little bit in the back, you can have Vanessa pull you back up, or we also have the supers with underdog and comeback kid. So the underdog is you multiply your equalized watts by 100. Equalized watts, so depending on how many riders are ahead of you, it will multiply the number of riders times 100 in equalized watts. So you can get, if you're in the back like I am, and you can see that will really help me out. My equalized watts jumped all the way up to 724, just so I can be with the group up here. And then with comeback kid you can do if you're all the way in the back as well. The thing about the comeback kid though is it gives you a lot of power and a lot of equalized watts, but it will expire once you hit the rider in front of you. So if you're 10 seconds behind somebody, it will last, that super will last and be activated until you hit the next rider. And say if you're really far behind, which is hard in the ride because we have the sweepers, but it will last for up to 45 seconds. So if you find yourself really, really, really behind, you can get up to 45 seconds or until you reach the next rider in front of you.
I love Comeback Kid, Vanessa. I use it in my group rides, the Rise and Rip on Mondays and Fridays, because we're experimenting all the time with different super combinations, different things out on course, and it's just might be overpowered in some races, I think, but in general, it's a really good speedy one it's always good to regroup here. The group's looking really good here. I know we came right from a race and came right on a climb for those doing back-to-back zones. So thank you so much, guys, for being a part and sticking with it. Hey, Homer, how's it going with you? Yeah, I got a big thumbs up. I unfortunately, I wasn't able to bring your camera into the stream. My bad, not yours. I can see you fine on my second monitor. Every time I changed monitors, it kind of resized things weird, and then we couldn't see the game. So I'm going to hang on this and change some camera views just to kind of mix it up. This is our side angle view. You can see I'm in the matching kit on the camera there. You can see Ryan is next to me here. Nigel is on my right hand side here. I can just use the letter C to move through. Kind of right here, here is my mini map, and that actually I can change the view by pressing the letter V. So if you're riding and you want to see what's behind you or look at the helicopter, check some gaps to see how far the chase pack might be, it's kind of a good thing. We can probably tighten this up a little bit. We're a little bit spread out, and remember, we'll all do better if we draft. The bots are going 275, so if we tuck in with them, we should be able to maximize Kayla there using her her underdog, getting that extra power to close it to the front here. It's interesting. I like this map, looking through the trees, the helicopter view. One of the things too I like to do on free is I like to kind of have a look around. One of the other sort of things that we don't often do, but I like to get a visual of the map here. I've lost there's the road. But it's fun. Here's all of our riders. Road course here On CVRcade, we have Mountain One coming up. We will do a lap time challenge. Right now, group ride, maximizing your draft. If you can find a drafting buddy, whether it's one of your teammates or not, just sort of practice that ability to draft is great. You can see those riders.
Yes, it is. Drafting is my best friend right now. I've got to get up there. And I lost it a little bit, but I can feel it from the efforts on Dark Matter Velo.
Yeah, I didn't even race that one, man, it's a fun one.
Definitely. And then when you're getting behind, like right now, I'm behind quite a few riders, so I'm getting up to 60% draft. So usually when you're behind one rider, getting around 35% draft, but if you're behind multiple riders, you can get up to 62. I mean, and then I have quantum shift in my super slot, so if I activate that, I can be just basically right up to the person and literally right on top of them, and you can get about 75% draft. So a lot of ways to utilize draft. Sorry about that, Ben. But yeah, you can really utilize the draft depending on different supers and depending on the amount of riders in front of you.
I was just actually looking because I know we're doing the lap challenge, so I pulled up my lap leaderboard, and it looks like the fastest time. We're not racing this one, but the fastest time on this one, drafting equalized, is 8:50, set by Tim Fulford. That's a fast lap time for this map.
Oh yeah, definitely. Especially, this is a very long kilometer map as well. So it's to make that time, and especially with the amount of grade that's in here too, very impressive.
Yeah, and one of the things too about this map, it just is kind of a slow, gradual climb up. Where we are right now is where we might find someone in a race attacking. You can see there that Ben just used his underdog, but this is a way where the road turns up right now. I'm on a 4% grade, and the riders in front of you, if they get over the top and crest before you, then they can open up like an elastic band because their speed starts to increase and yours is still slow, so they can open up a gap. So this is a part on Rocky Mountain where we'll often see an attack. So if you were saving power-ups, this would be the place where you'd want to use them to try to close that gap before the riders in front of you try to get down faster than you. So I like racing this one. Let's check in.
Yeah, I'm racing this one too.
So hey Ben, how are you? Just checking in, getting some more voices here into the broadcast.
Yeah, I'm pretty good, thanks. Spending a couple of weeks at home with the family, enforced, obviously. But yeah, it's pretty tricky trying to homeschool the kids and do your day's work and try and fit in some riding. But it's nice to have a little bit of time to relax and to actually do quite an easy ride tonight and just chill out, which is quite nice.
Yeah, and I mean, this is one of our more relaxed ones. We're coming out of another zone, back-to-back zone, but I'm managing to get a pretty good sweat on. So I don't know about you. I don't have my fan on because it makes a louder noise than my trainer. So do you have a fan on, or are you just totally 100% comfortable?
No, I've got a fan on. I've got the door open. I'm in the sort of garage conversion type thing. So yeah, I have a woefully inadequate fan. It's way too small. It's about like a 10-inch fan or something, but it's all I can sort of fit in at the moment. Yeah.
Well, I see here, I'm on board with you from the side, and I must say, your kit, even your shoes, the yellow shoes and the yellow gloves and the fade on your helmet, that's a really nice skin. It looks awesome in the game.
Thanks. Yeah, it's a nice skin, but it's quite tricky to get jerseys made that would match. But yeah, we've all got our lovely jerseys to match now. So yeah, it's nicely coordinated, and it's kind of nice of Timothy, who set up the team, wanted it to be a real sort of esports outfit as a team, and to have a nice kit, sort of modern kind of an esports kit, so he went he went online to Fiverr to get someone to draw up some designs for us. So yeah, it looks nice and professional, perfect for sort of esports. So yeah, I think everyone's agreed it's a good kit. So yeah, we'll see.
It looks like Ryan is wearing too. I was just noticing, Ryan, what kit are you wearing in the game here?
This was a duathlon that I did last summer. Got a lot of noise coming from everywhere.
But you've got a Mito in the game. Like the camera's not coming through because I'm having an OBS issue, but I see like the Mito Canada.
Oh, on my avatar. Yeah, I actually tried switching into the velocity one.
Well, then you get it.
Because I think I was at the Mito on Tuesday. But yeah, it's a foundation that raises awareness for mitochondrial disease. So if anybody's seen the track in the game, mitochondria.
I hear you have your family in the background there. How's that social distancing going? I love it. I love it. Listen, you know what? I have to tell you that there are so many times when my kids were little, I would run from a call and be like, shh, mommy's on a call, or mommy's riding her bike. I totally know. I think I saw them exercising with you. Looks like they might be exercising. I'm going to bring you back on. I think you have your mic I don't mind the noise in the background. I think it's adorable. That's real life there. But what are they working on?
It's just it's more challenging for me, I think, than you. The multitasking is harder than playing CVRcade. But yeah, I guess I'm inspiring them. They're fighting over the elliptical machine, so I gave them a time limit. Or what I should have done actually is that when you see the track switch or the map switch, then you can take turns. But yeah, any way I can to get some energy out of them, I guess is good.
I love it. I love it. Well, I'm so glad that they're taking the lead and getting some fitness. I think one of the most important things is to be sure that we get our exercise in. Whoa! She got nailed at the front there. Couldn't go past the leader. So great work here. I am going to go back to my steady shot here while we do a switch here, and I'm going to see if I can exit the game and come back in and see if it will solve my issue. I have a few different monitors on, and it froze up because I got a little mad. I was getting too fancy with my cameras, and then it seemed to change what is the desktop vice versa. So I'm going to see if I can, in between the events, do this. So we are now going to go to Temple Run, I believe. Let's see here. Back on. This is CVRcade. I hear everybody. Oh no, we're on Lakeview Circuit. Let's see if I can.
I don't think so.
I'm going to mute a lot of these channels. A lot of our friends are
Hey Vanessa, what would be
themselves here in the chat, which is awesome because they're all in in the game together here. We've got 2 minutes and 45 seconds to go. I'm going to use that time to just try to switch up my monitors if it's possible so that I can actually show you some of the UI and what the riders are looking at, because I think it's really fun. I mean, it's great to see the game because the graphics are beautiful, but I think it's also kind of important that you are able to see what it looks like, what the UI is that the riders are using. I think that's really pretty cool to see. So I'm going to check on my properties here of this and see if I can't switch it around. OBS is a really cool free open software for streamers, and it seems to be just kind of giving me a little bit of a headache today, where it's not allowing me to capture what I want to capture, but that's okay. So it's all right if you're not going to be able to see the UI today. You saw it for a little bit, and I will make sure that we get to watch the beautiful track. This is going to be a lap challenge. And the lap challenge here, I'll come back to this one here. The lap challenge starts in 1:34. Hey guys, I'm back in the chat here on the lap challenge. I was just kind of changing it up. What do we have here? Sounds like Ben. Oh, is it Ben's family in the background? It might have been. Hey, Super Mafioso, 1,000 Sparks. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Streaming from my basement using OBS and having a little bit of a hiccup here. Appreciate that. Appreciate those sparks and the love out there. DK Mansuni, thank you so much for being in at Crucible. Thank you for joining into the chat here. I really appreciate it here. Now I'm coming back on under a minute here. We've got Homer Thompson. We've got Ryan. We've got Jeff and Nigel and Ben. And unfortunately, I can't show you all of their their cameras like I had been doing before. I got a little showy. I just have to tell you, I must have just been, a little too confident in the system here, because it worked super on Tuesday, and today it decided to give me a little bit of a headache. But we've got Lakeview. You can see there that crashing down was Ben demonstrating what not to do. We've got these obstacles out on course that we don't want people to bump into. So the first lap of 5, we'll do the first lap easy, the second lap hard, the third lap easy, the fourth lap hard. 10 seconds, we're just going to go easy, 250, 300, and just kind of hang together as a group. And then the second lap, we will come out of the gate and try to break our personal record. Inside the game is the lap leaderboard, and I know that a couple people was able to, I can't conjugate verbs right now. A couple people were able to break their records and do a better job each subsequent lap. On board here with Jeff on the front, holding 250. Ryan here, not too far back. Allison again. Not really trying to do any racing. We're just trying to learn the map here. I'm on board with Ben there with that beautiful hive kit there that we saw. And everybody's just going to kind of mind their own pace for the first lap. And then when they come, now they've got these obstacles on the side, boom, 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 boom. You see those bikes wiping out. Those are the AI riders that don't quite know there's obstacles there yet. So the riders that are riding in this lap challenge have to not only watch out for the obstacles, but they do have to watch out for respawning avatars. Now I'm going to pull up the lap leaderboard. I think, let's see here. I think we had a couple people break their time from last time. Modi did 2:21. It looks like he's not in this broadcast in the audio widget here. Jeff, did you, I've got a little background noise on you, but did you break your time? Did I hear you say that on this one?
I did, in the drafting lap.
Nice. So what time are you going to try to beat this time around? What's your time?
I was 2:20 something, but the reason I went off the front, I want to try and get a non-drafting lap. So.
2:20. You did. You got 2:20. You're the only person in on the drafting one is Vibaka at 2:18. So you want to get a non-drafting one. The non-drafting one.
Similar time for non-drafting should put me at the top.
Yeah. Yep. I'm taking a look at that now. So in the game, there's a lap leaderboard that we all can look at. This is on board with Homer, his Cognition team skin there. Looks sharp as always. Homer, I know you're on camera, and I thank you for streaming in, but I can't drag you into the broadcast. I mean, I can drag you into the broadcast, but I can't drag the little window into the broadcast at the moment. I'm happy that we're all together here. But right now, Allison, Ben, we've got Ryan just clicking through their avatars, doing this first lap as a warm-up. And I'm going to keep an eye on Jeff, who did say he's trying to do it without drafting. So what he's doing is he's made his way to the front, and he's trying to get that number here. He moves into the inside lane because he knows the fastest distance between 2 points is a straight line, so being on the inside corner is the place to be. There are some obstacles. He's aware of those obstacles. He's going to make sure he doesn't hit those as he comes into the corner. You see he clears those rocks, moves to the middle lane. Right now he's doing about 500 equalized watts, 600 equalized watts. Heart rate is at 180 on this lap challenge that he's doing. Again, we're doing 5 laps. He decided to go for it on the first lap, which is totally cool. Everybody rides at their own pace. You don't even have to do the lap challenge. This is just another format, and I think he knows which lane to be in. Yes, he does. I held my breath for you there, Jeff. That's the corner. I'm not going to say any more words because we don't need commentator to ruin anything on this. But these final obstacles, he knows what lanes to be in. He's got to move over one. There it is. See, he's all on it. He knows exactly what he's doing. He says, Beth, you can say my name 1,000 times. I'm not letting you let me mess up here. A few more turns, and Jeff will bring it across the line, and he'll be able to shout out his time for me there. Ooh, speedy, speedy. A little bit of a lag on my internet. Thank you. I don't want to shout out names of my ISP because we know everyone has a different story. Let's see. I'm going to go down the list here and click through some of the riders that look like they're working on their second lap. That was Jeff that just came through and is working on his first lap. It does look like we're here on board with Ben. Ben's dropped down a little on the power, so he must be, I think he had a crash on this lap. So he's probably got his mic muted, but I think that he's probably going to just finish this lap at a decent pace and then maybe try to push on the next lap on that. Looks like Homer's working. Let me find him in our list here. We've got Badger also in the mix here. Badger navigated those lane changes just fine. Nigel up the road from Badger. Again, this is not a race. This is a lap challenge, and sometimes it does help. Like if you are a Badger and you're looking ahead, you watch what the other riders are doing and try to emulate that. Make sure you're in the right lane to try to beat your time on this particular map. Usually we do 4 races within an Omnium, but we're taking a little bit of a pause from the CVRcade racing. The cups, the solo cups, the Derny cups are all on hold at the moment, just as we kind of let the world settle down and take a collective sigh, I think, of what where we are in the world, and come together as a community in the game and make sure that we are kind of taking care of each other and, not really pushing ourselves too much physically, because we do need to maintain our health. Looks like Homer is settling back into a little bit of a pace here. If you don't want to speak, that's okay, Homer. I don't know if you improved your time. I'll let you catch your breath, but it does look like Homer did come across the line with a pretty good time. On my leaderboard, I'm like so far down. I've got the top 3, and then I've got 11, and I'm like south of 11. But we still have Vibeke on the front here. Looks like Ryan just posted a 2:19. Let me open his mic. Ryan, is that a new time for you? I feel like that's a new time for you.
I did 2:21 in K, and then I was crazy enough to try another one, and I got 2:19. I was within a second of Vibeke. My heart rate got up to 200 equalized.
Wow! Dang! Nice work. I wish I was on your avatar. So are you going to do one more lap? It looks like you're on 2 or 3 of 5. You're going to take one lap off and do one more effort?
I'm on 3 now, but no, I think that's it for me.
Oh.
I think I did well because you weren't showing me.
Yeah. That's probably true. I do have a question coming in. The lap leaderboard. What you do is you go to the UI and you turn it on, and then you click the pin, and then there are little click marks. Once the leaderboard is open, it says power-ups, drafting, equalized, and physical. So those are the different categories of combinations of ways that you can get. Right now, Ryan, I was talking to you. I made you just smash right into the thing. Let's check in. So, hey, so congratulations on another two seconds on that one. Hey, Nigel, how did you do?
I think I was a second slower than Zone K. I did 2:23.
That's still pretty impressive. I'm still way down down on down on the list here.
Not too bad.
No, that's consistent though, very consistent. Did you find coming around the corner? Have you figured that out with the obstacles? Are you all better with that now? You when we first started racing it was a little bit tricky.
The map has changed from what I did for us. It used to be one great big long set of lanes, and now they've changed it slightly and split it into three.
Yeah, it's interesting now. So you do have to make those changes here. So I do see Homer coming around the start finish. He's spinning up out of the saddle here, and he's coming across the line. It looks like we'll stick with Homer. 750 equalized watts, 47 kph here. We'll stick with Homer as he tries to break his lap leader time. And if I can see, depending on what combination again. I'll wait for him to tell me when he is done and what his time to beat was. But he looks like he's on a mission here. What you can't see, but what I can see is he's doing 467 equalized watts. Now, what does that mean? So, in the game, more or less, 367 is like somebody's what they call FTP, functional threshold power. And what the heck is that besides a fancy acronym that cyclists like to talk about? It's an amount of power that you can sustain, and by power I mean how much pressure you can put on the pedals, and it's how much you can sustain for about 20 minutes, more or less. And so 367 is kind of a rough estimate of just pushing as hard as you can for 20 minutes with your heart rate just absolutely pinned full gas. So when he's doing 400, which is what he's doing right now, is he's over his max. He is well over his threshold, and really pushing it. And Homer does always gives us this like massive display of power and skill, where he can really, you see here on the helicopter view here. I do have his camera, so I have the benefit of watching him. He's doing a great job. Stick with it, Homer. When we get to the end, I'll ask you to shout it out. But on this mountain bike track here, on his mountain bike, in his cognition kit, trying to break the lap time still. 450, 420 equalized watts, absolutely on a mission to break his time here. Again, I'm going to stay with him on this one. I do know that other folks, Ryan and Jeff and Badger and Nigel and Vanessa, Kayla, Badger, are all in here as well, working to get their best last time. But let's see, he comes across the line. Go, Homer, go! Go, Homer, go! Go, Homer, go! Come on, come on, come on! All the way across the line. You've got it, you've got it, you've got it! Oh my goodness, he got himself up there. Whoa! 700. Started at 700 something equalized watts. Finished up over 800. Heart rate 190. I'm going to let you catch your breath, Homer, and then I'm curious to see how you did on that lap there. When you catch your breath and open your mic, I will be ready here. We'll hop on board here. It does look like I'm scanning down on the board to see if anyone's giving it a big push. It looks like some people might be just taking a break from from their on their off lap here, but here is the helicopter view, the free view, and then you can see Badger there ahead of me. They're taking it through the lane changes here, and interesting. All right, riding. It looks like Badger rides from the point of view of without seeing his avatar. So, all right. Badger there on the side, Nigel coming on the inside. Again, not a race, a ride where we're doing the best lap times that we can, the lap time challenges. Our next map is going to be Temple Run. Temple Run, we're going to probably have one more effort here. Homer, is your mic open? Are you able to tell me how you did? Inquiring minds want to know. There you are.
I don't know either. It says 2.25, but I don't know. I can't bring my leaderboard up, so I'm not sure what I did the last time.
Oh, I have the leaderboard up, but because it's giving me my point of view, and I'm so much further down, you must be so much further up. Not in the top 3 of the ones that I'm seeing. I'm going to open it and close it there, but we'll make a note. I'm sure you were absolutely crushing it. It was lots of fun to stay on board with you. And again, I had the benefit of seeing you on camera, and I couldn't share that with the stream. I'm so sorry, but that's okay. We had a lot of cheers for you. Get it, Nigel. Go, Homer. Go, Ryan. Thank you guys in Mixer for joining. Looks like Ben gave us 1,000 sparks. Super Mafioso, again, thanks for those sparks earlier in the broadcast. This is CVRcade. If you like what you're watching, you can like and follow us. This is sort of the break that we're taking here with the rest of the world to try to decrease the social distancing, playing with our friends. We've got Homer, Allison, Ryan, Ben, Jeff, Badger, Nigel here in Zone L, all coming out to ride with our friends. We've got about 0.3 kilometers to go on this last bit of Lakeview. You can see the helicopter view, our mountain bike course. We're going to go back to a road course, Temple Run, one of my favorite tracks, maps rather, and we'll do some intervals on that. And I'll see if Kayla will be able to jump back in and lead on that one. Hey Kayla, how are you? Whoops, I don't hear you. Did I turn you up? You might have to turn your mic on. I've got you unmuted on my side.
Hello?
There you are. You're back. Yep.
Okay, there we go. Yeah, I'm just finishing up on Lakeview Circuit. It's just too funny. I had started at 6, and now I'm all the way down to 10 because everybody is just doing so amazing today and getting those new numbers. Yeah, I try to beat my lap time. So I'm still sitting in the top 10 at least, but slowly moving down. But yeah, just finishing up on Lakeview Circuit, and then we can go on into the Temple Run for the next one, for the ride. But at least we have a ride coming up with the leader and sweeper again.
Well, you know, we will probably, after this lap challenge, and some people are doing back-to-back zones, what do you think? Like 275 rolling out on Temple and then give maybe a little push to 350? Does that feel...
Yeah, okay? That sounds good because the bots, they're just staying with them. We can get some drafts off of them as well. We have a large group in here, but just going off with 275 to start off with, and then just sticking on, because it's a 0% grade to start out with, and then you go to up to 0.8% grade, and then up to 2%, and then so on and so forth. So we can just be together for the beginning of it, and then halfway up the ascent, we can try to push to 350, and work together.
That sounds great. Some of us have portaled to the next event. It happens. I think you have your thing. I have a 4 minutes and 15 seconds until the next event, which I think is plenty of time. I'm going to go ahead and move on and make sure that people that did go get those same instructions that you just gave to the folks that are still on this track, and I will see you. I'll see you on Temple Run.
Yes, I'll see you there in a second.
Okay, so if you are watching CVRcade here, I am changing over to the next event. Kayla is finishing up as well as a couple other people on Lakeview Circuit on the lap challenge that we were just doing. We're now going to the third of 4 activities in the El Omnium. This is Temple Run, one of my favorite maps. It has a little bit of a climb. Let me just see here. I love the sky. But let me just see as I'm soft pedaling here. You can see some of the other riders out on the course here. There's an incline. Whoops, I just went past it. I'm hitting the letter C to change my view. And this, here we go, this is free. So I can kind of navigate the map. Look at that sky. Look at that beautiful lake. Like the sky is reflecting into the lake. Sometimes I just like to sort of fly around and check out the terrain. But this will be the map that we're riding through. Kayla did give a little bit of a description of what we'll be doing, which is we'll start out around 250, 275 equalized watts. There'll be a soft little incline, some twisty turnies to the road. You can see the cobblestones underneath that. Luckily you don't feel that, although you do hear it. I definitely need to get my bike tuned up. I think that I can drop it off at the bike shop without too much worry. It does look like everybody's coming back in. I don't know if Kevin has his Badger has his mic on. I know that he's one of our newer riders in the game. I can see him on camera on my thing, but I can't bring you into the broadcast, but I can bring you in audio-wise if you're able to talk. I can't hear your mic. Can I hear you?
I think so.
Yay! I can hear you now.
So this is tons of fun. I'm getting an absolutely great workout. I'm also learning new things. For example, the 4th track, the one that we'll see after this, is, wow, there's some interesting obstacles in there that I've never even heard of before or done before. So that was really interesting. And I also would say I really like the challenge where you go out there and try to beat your own time. I didn't even know really that there was a lap segment leaderboard, which is very cool. So everything's pretty fun for me, and I can tell you, I'm glad I'm wearing dark blue that I guess no one can see if I'm not on camera because I am covered in sweat. So this is great. Thank you.
Yeah, well, fitness together it's kind of like the equivalent of like a conference call that everybody's having around the world, but getting our exercise. It's a lot of fun. I appreciate you being in the broadcast. And we've got Homer there. I know weren't able to check out with the time. We've got Jeff. Did you end up breaking your time again?
Yeah, I got a 2:18.
Whoa!
But it popped up in the with power-ups leaderboard, which I'm not sure how that happened.
Well, you know what? I think
considering we had no power-ups available, of magic light.
You made it happen. You made it happen. I think on the refresh, I think if you click and unclick, it just takes a minute to refresh. But we'll be able to like get all of these records at the end of the day here, and post about them and see if we can. I know. And also one of the things that Aaron is doing. Aaron is going to be doing Zone T later tonight. He's going to be streaming, and he's been doing a new leaderboard thing every week. Have you had a chance to do that, Jeff?
No, that's the controllers one, and I think I'm out of my league against the controllers.
Yeah, you know, it's funny, when I first started trying the controller in the Derny Cup, I was like, I don't know how this is going to be. I mean, quite honestly, I was like, so that's going to be easy, right? Because especially when you're riding and your heart rate's 1,000, you know, whatever you're doing, 1,000%, and you're turning yourself absolutely inside out, you're like, oh, wait a minute here. Actually, the controller is pretty hard.
Yeah, especially it takes it to a new level, and of course crashing out when you've got so much extra speed, you have to brake harder, which is another level altogether again, isn't it? That you've got to be careful when you're under braking, your corner speed changes again. So.
Yeah, there's a lot of tips and tricks that people have been sort of sharing, and it's all stuff that I hadn't really considered until I actually started doing the Derny Cup. So I was, you know, of all the cups, I was looking forward to the team one the most, and then the solo one's always fun. And I was like, the Derny, we'll see. I think that's a really cool concept because of the crossplay. I love the idea. But then I was like, oh my gosh, I really love doing it because it's actually very challenging.
Yeah, the keyboard and rider combination is actually an excellent one because each has their different strengths and weaknesses.
Yep.
And when you've got your pair as the opposite, you have to team up and help each other's weaknesses out. So it's quite an excellent sort of new strategy way of playing.
Yeah, and I'm actually just noticing that I missed a comment from Aaron is actually in the Mixer chat saying I should have checked the lap times on the non-physical. And he said, on every map, so I can feel better about myself having the top time on almost every map on controller. Sounds like he's like tempting more challenges. So, and then he said he's been posting his best time on the controller on the Google Sheet so people can see how he got the times and get better at the game, how fast you can take corners and stuff. So in CVRcade Riders, you can go and you can look at the Google Sheet that Aaron's been doing, which is really awesome. So Aaron, thank you. Homer, I'm going to use Comeback Kid to try to just close that gap because I'm talking too much and feeling lazy. But I think it just went away. Vanessa, the sweeper, pulls me up. Come on, Vanessa. It's like a fishing wheel. So there we go, like a little pulley system. So Kayla, I'll let you shout out when you wanted to do an effort on this one, do a couple intervals.
Yeah, well, because we're sticking at the 275 equalized watts for now, and then right as we come around this corner, this little sidewinder, we'll shoot it up to 350 and then try to attack that into the end of the ascent.
That sounds good. I'll wait for your call. Your mic's open.
Perfect. I'll call right now. Alrighty. And start wrapping it up. And we are going to shoot for 350, guys. Let's just bring it up. The tempo up. Remember, you can always change your cadence. Keep pushing. 350. I see Homer up here at the front. Nice. We got Nigel right next to me. Beth, Ben, Allison. Keep shooting for that 350. Keep going. We got another sidewinder turn. We are on a 2% grade now, but remember, you can always switch out your cadence.
Yeah, we really got stretched out. That's okay, guys. When we get to the top, or when she calls it, just use your comeback kid, your underdog, to come on back.
Yep, because the supers are there for you to help. Underdog is a great one to use. Comeback kid might not be effective in the group, but underdog is a great one. Keep pushing until we get to this next sidewinder turn.
All right, I've got the helicopter view. I think I saw Vanessa, and I was like, oh, here comes the sweep. Maybe she can pull me, but I think because I'm technically the leader, it didn't work.
Nice, and then we're right at the next sidewinder turn, so we can bring it back down to 250 as we go through Termont tiers.
I love it.
So nice, we got an interval in there, and then we can also do another interval. We can take it easy as a group, stick to 250, 275, and then when we're on the bottom of the descent, we can push it on the flat grade to get a higher interval on a flat grade.
That sounds good. Now we do have Uncrashable on, which means that the obstacles aren't going to mess with us, but I think it's good practice to try to position yourself in the lane. So I usually think about, before I get to the waterfall, about these rocks that are coming up. So we don't have to worry about them right now because of the way the ride is configured, but you do have to worry about them in a race, and you can kind of get pinned into one of those rocks and thrown off the bike. So from a race tactic standpoint, although those obstacles right now we're falling through them, that's not what happens in majority of the races. So the peloton's looking really, really nice here. It's a group here, it's a side angle. I'm just clicking through my camera views here. Nice. getting stretched out a little bit. Right now I'm getting about a nice 22% draft coming down the hill here, which is nice. And I can feel my trainer. The trainer is what my bike is hooked up to. My wheel on the back is off, and there's a cassette on the trainer, like the little TT things. The TT things is a very technical term on the back of your bike. So I take my wheel off, put the bike on the trainer, and my trainer is a smart trainer, so it's communicating with the game via ANT signal, a little tiny like radio frequency thing, and then there's also some connect via Bluetooth. This one just happens to connect ANT, and what the game, it's not just communicating my proximity in the game into other people, but it's also the grades that we're on. We're going down a grade right now. We're on a flat coming around this corner, but so I can feel when I was on the descent, it was easier to pedal. You could actually hear my trainer spin up because it was easing off on the resistance to simulate that downhill. So when you're riding in the game on a smart trainer, you're feeling the terrain. So I was joking about the cobblestones, and some trainers simulate a vibration if the game, oh yes, I don't have to worry about it, if the game works that way. But this, I have a kicker trainer, and this particular one is a smart trainer ANT, and I can feel the grade changes on my bike. So that's one lap. We've got one more lap to do. This is fun here. I wonder if anyone has any good race stories. Ben, do you have any good race stories on Temple Run?
And before Ben starts, Beth, just right around this corner, once we are able to see the start-finish line,
Yep.
we can pick up back up to 350 until we hit the ascent, just to get a good interval in on a flat grade.
Love it, love it. So I'm going to make Ben talk right as the interval starts, Ben. He looks like he's messing with his shoes. I'm going to make it really hard. You have to clip your shoes, pick up the interval, and then tell me your best race story on this track.
All right, let's pick it up right now. Go back to 350.
Ben's like, no.
Yeah.
It's okay, Ben. I'll come back to you after the interval. It's all right.
You can always use the supers too as well. Nice. Jeff with the quantum, going through the pack and getting that draft, and now he's up in front. Keep it going. I know we're at a 1%, but let's just keep it going until we get to the next little sidewinder bit.
So right now there's sparks. You can see on my view there's sparks, and that's because I can't go through number 12's back. And on my left and right, people are using the quantum shift, and they're phasing through. So Wilbur's in front of me, and I can't get around Wilbur unless I change lanes, which I just did, and got on Marie's back. One more lane change to get around. So I was pinned in. I'm coming up on Allison's back. I can come to the inside of her by changing my lane, coming around, using my arrow keys, and then trying to make connection back with the front group here. Not a race, just an interval, and when Kayla calls it, we'll settle back in.
Yeah, about 10 more seconds, and then we'll just go back to 250.
Sounds good.
Go around the sidewinder part. Keep it going, keep it going. Almost there. And all right, we're down to, we can just lower it back down to 250. We got a nice interval in right there. And the good thing is too, is that in these leader and sweeper events, even if, because we want to keep the pack together, if you're still being a little bit held back by that leader because of the configuration, you can still look at your equalized watts. And we're just going for, like I said, the 350 when we're doing those higher interval paces. And even though you could be held back at some point, you can still look at equalized watts to make sure that you are targeting that 350 in and getting that power in. But it's nice because we can just stay with the group with the ride.
Yep. I was just reading in on on chat. So I think I created some confusion about Journey and about physical, non-physical. So the Journey Cup is keyboard only currently, but the controller challenge that Aaron's doing is controller. And right now all the cups are basically on hiatus and hold until collectively as a global world we all come. Jeff, nice. Oh, sorry. He's like on my wheel. Hi, Jeff. Wait, there he is. Look at that velocity kit. Looking sharp. Just changing the camera view again on the twisty turny map. So I was having to go around an avatar when I got stuck behind the bots in the congestion because all of my power-ups holding were filled and I didn't have a quantum shift. So I had to dump one of them to open them up. It's kind of like a poker game where you can only have 4 up holding. So they're refillable. So it's not like I have to hold them, but they're refillable at random. So I didn't have a quantum shift when I wanted it. I was watching everyone quantum shift and then underdog, and I'm like, dang it, I can't follow. But nice moves out there, guys. That would be useful in a race. An underdog giving you more power for the people, for the number of people ahead of you, makes sense to drift back. I did that in a race where I knew I wanted to let a little gap happen because I was getting the extra watts for each person in front of me, so I drifted to the back before I executed the power-up. Back on the flat, Kayla. Looks like we got a little...
Sorry, my mic was on mute. Sorry about that.
No, that's okay. I'm going to soft pedal here. Looks like we got a little bit stretched out. Not surprising on that interval.
Yeah, that was a pretty intense interval. But yeah, sticking together on this flash race, and then we can regroup on the descent. We got Vanessa as a sweeper, so she's pulling us all back together.
Yep, I can see it on the overhead camera. Underneath Hermont Tiers, you can see that row of people. Sorry, Badger. I was soft pedaling, and what happens is I'm not affected by the sweeper because I'm, there we go. I can see myself bumping. I'm going to step out of the lane for you. There we go. Oh, right into the rocks. But yep, nice job on that sweeper. So the sweeper feature, it's kind of like a magnet pulling everyone back together. So if we get all stretched out, we can pull it back together.
Yeah, it looks like we're all back together on this descent, which is nice.
Mm-hmm.
And then this is our last lap on Temple Run. So we have about 1.8 kilometers left. And then we can all just power it out and see who gets the win. And have a nice sprint finish right there. That could be a nice interval, but you can just go as fast as you want.
That sounds great. So we'll get down. Maybe we'll call a sprint finish at the one of the last turns before the hairpin.
Yeah, when we're in that stadium section.
Yeah, right before that. You come down, there's a right-hand turn, and then straight away before that hard left.
Sounds great. That sounds like a plan. And we can call it out too as well, Beth. So
yeah, sure.
Yeah.
So I still have we still have Homer, Jeff, Ben. I'm gonna check in here. Nigel, how you feeling? You having fun still?
Oh yeah, no, this is great. Yeah, I think a lot of us have probably, if we were in training, we've sort of thrown our training plan out the window and we're just sort of in what I would call a maintenance period. So you're not doing a lot of hard training, just a lot more lower zone rides. Plus you don't want to be riding hard because it lowers your immunity, so you want to sort of just take it a little bit easier for a few weeks. Stay fit.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point, where so many of us who get kind of intensely into it worry about losing fitness, but working on our base. Can you talk a little bit about what that means in this time about base building and what that's about?
Oh, it's a lot of endurance rides, just long, steady rides, not really pushing it hard, like we're doing now. If you can talk, it's about right, but just doing, plenty of distance. Your body can cope with a lot of this.
Yeah, I think it's important to make sure that the idea, even in like exercise periodization, I can't say that word, I'm monosyllabic all of a sudden, but having the times of recovery and then building a base so that's like a pyramid. You can build your fitness, some of the harder events on that base of low to medium intensity. So
yeah, see, I was in training for the New Zealand Road Race Champs in April, which has now been postponed until July. Now, if I carry on my training hard all the way through to July, I'm going to burn myself out. So I've got to have a break for a few weeks, just to sort of come back down and then build up again.
Build up again, yep. So we are portaling. So didn't mean to cut off my friend and teammate Nigel there. What ends up happening when we all portal to the next event, we exit that current track and we enter in the new track. So Nigel, I heard the last part of that, and then we started to portal. So, but you had a races.
What I was saying is, like I was in training for the New Zealand Road Race Champs in April. That's been postponed until July. So if I just was to carry on my training hard all the way through to July, I'd burn myself out. So I need this time now, just for a few weeks. Just take it easy, lower the intensity. I can just do plenty of long rides.
Yeah, and it's nice.
And then, yeah, it's nice.
Yeah, and I really like, like I said, I had, on Tuesday, I had all of the cameras brought into the stream, and then my OBS, I think it needs to be updated again or something crapped out, but it was really nice to have, it's kind of like being in like one of those chats, so Zoom meetings or Google Hangouts with all of our friends, so it makes the social distancing feel a little easier.
Yeah, it does.
So we've got in this last bit. Oh, did I cut you off, Homer? Nigel, did you have one more thing to say? I think I might have clipped your mic. No?
No, I think we're good.
All right, cool. That's the, if you're on enough, if you work remotely, which I do that even in spite of, even without the world situation, I work remotely a lot, and you're on conference calls and you're like waiting for someone to speak, and then it's dead air, and then someone speaks, and they tend to like talk over each other. So I'm doing my best to try to manage the audio and try to be a good listener, but also have those questions coming at you. Jeff, how do you like this event? How are you feeling? You gonna take it?
Oh. I doubt it. This is probably one of the worst tracks for my skills, I think. I'm not sure why, but I think I get too tense and don't relax enough on it.
Well, my only tip is, like, I find I have the best, like, I know Timothy Termont gave us good tips of, like, go really hard and then pick a spot to brake and then practice that brake point and decelerate and then, hold through the corners. He had some very specific tips that were really advanced. But for me, I just stay to the outside, cruise around 35. There's no wind on course. We don't have to worry about it. So, I just stick to the outside. Ben, 20 seconds to go. You came in 5th last time. What do you think?
I think, I'll try and improve on that. I'm definitely going to give this one a go. I stayed on the outside last time. Maybe this time I'll try the inside.
All right, 5 seconds to go. I'll let you get refocused. I'm going to clip your mic there, and out of the gate they go. And I don't know if I should rate. I'm going to stay out of the way. I think I'm going to stay out of the way, and I'm going to just hop on board. Kayla came in 2nd place in Zone K in this race. And again, These zones that we're doing, K&L, are activities that are made up of group rides, lap challenges, and little mini races, just for diversity, just for fun, just to have our social distance not feel so distant in the game. Stay fit, have fun, and let's see here. This is a nice little bunch of riders together here. On the front, though, we do have Jeff, who was just saying this isn't his course, but I'm not going to put the curse on him. He's holding down the front. Allison is just right on his wheel, benefiting from the draft, kind of just staying on his wheel. Both of them staying within a comfortable corner speed pace. Also in the same lane, I just popped on to Kayla's point of view. You can see Kayla there in the purplish and turquoise. You've got Allison in front and Jeff. So 1, 2, 3. You can see some lane decisions being made. Ooh, all three of them made it through that avatar being respawned there. So if you do bump into the obstacles, you will go crashing down, and then sometimes these racers will respawn and cause you a bother here. Nigel, he can see the riders ahead of him just by 1 or 2 seconds, and this is where he needs to just stay calm. He can see that group of riders. He can see I'm on board with Nigel. I'm going to get myself off camera here. No one needs to see me. I'm just like a sweaty messy mouthpiece here. So we've got Kayla on the front. Nigel sees those riders ahead. He's just got to stay calm and not overcook it, because he can force a mistake out of Kayla, who's holding down the front here, very relaxed. Allison coming around the outside of Kayla, so making Kayla need to slow down a little bit so she doesn't slide out. So that's a maneuver there, which is, and then boom. Oh, sorry, I just like laughed into the microphone. That was so loud. Allison pinned Kayla into the wrong lane, and Kayla went crashing down. I do not have the fancy vMix replay like my friend Jesper and Vic, but I was able to see what happened there. But still, Kayla not too far back. That opened the door for Nigel in second place, 2 seconds behind Allison. Allison just has to maintain this comfortable pace. Her heart rate is up, but I just saw her spike 1,000 equalized watts. So it looks like Allison here is doing, you can see her avatar right here. Looks like Allison is doing that technique where she did speed up. Again, 800 equalized watts, 850, speeds up and then slows back down. Just trying to get just trying to open up a little bit of gap, getting on the straightaway faster than Nigel. Still 3 seconds on Nigel. It does look like Nigel, as he comes across the line here, he does give it a little bit of go, but not to the degree of which Allison did. Allison was 800 equalized watts on the straightaway, and then brought it back down. Nigel kept it a little bit more in control into the corners here, but that control is keeping him 2 or 3 seconds back from Allison. Back on board with Kayla, who did have that crash. Allison was playing a little bit of chess there, anticipated what she might be able to do is it's not what we call, there's a number of different blocks, and you say that word and you just open yourself up to a very interesting conversation. But she did hold her lane, and Kayla was on the inside, and Kayla didn't have anywhere to go, tried to change her lane at the last minute, and then she went down. But Kayla is 6 seconds back from Nigel. Allison still first wheel, 0.7 kilometers to go here. On Dark Matter Velo, the sci-fi course here on CVRcade. This map has undergone many transformations, but it was one of the first maps on CVRcade that kind of blew my mind. And you wouldn't think that a map that goes around in circles is going to blow your mind, but it blew my mind because the idea that I could steer my avatar, it really did feel like a video game. I've been on other, ride simulators, and you aren't able to turn or steer. And there's really no point to it if you're not getting a good draft, if there aren't tactics that you can deploy. But this is, having the ability to decide what lane you want to be in. 0.3 kilometers to go with Allison on the front. We're still on board with Allison, and avoiding these obstacles, like I was just on Nigel. Oh, I think he just slid out. Brings Kayla on by. Jeff slams into the back of Nigel. Oh gosh, Nigel was just trying to get a little bit close on Allison, but Kayla did come on through. But Allison is going to be able to walk away with this. She came across the line, and she was 10 seconds ahead. Kayla now coming across the line by a second in front of Nigel. Jeff right behind, and then Homer now coming across the line. I was a little bit slow on my clicking there, but Allison dominated. Kayla did force the mistake of Nigel in that corner. Nigel was feeling the end coming near and did make a mistake. So that is going to be our final race. We have Jeff. There we go. These are turning shaded out and then shading back on. So I think everybody has completed the race. Ben as well. I don't have the leaderboard up here. I don't have finishing positions. This is all for fun. Allison was the winner, Kayla in second, followed by Nigel and Jeff. So much fun. This is CVRcade. This is a group ride activity, K and L. Aaron is going to be doing it later on tonight in Zone T as well. Crucible, thank you so much for joining. DK Mansuni, Aaron Starboy, you know what? Karma for Kayla doing it to Jeff. No comment. Yikes. Oh, this is fun, guys. Thank you so much for bringing it into the Mixer chat. I always try to get back over here and show you my love, because we love that you're watching us. We do this for you guys. We do this to stay fit, but we love having you in the chat and cheering for us. And even though we're not racing, you being here with us, we're all in this together. Please, everyone, stay safe. Join Aaron. Same lineup tonight in a few hours in Zone T, which is 10 p.m. Eastern time. So someone else has to do the math on that. 7 p.m. Pacific time, and overnight in the UK. But from everyone at CVRcade, wishing you well. We'll see you on Saturday as well for more streaming, same time, 1 p.m., 2 p.m. Eastern time, New York City time, and we'll have more great rides, lap challenges, maybe an elimination race, because I feel like we did have an elimination race suggested. So we'll see if we can put that in. If not on Saturday, on next Tuesday. All right, guys, thanks for joining. My name is Beth, and I really appreciate you being with us. Take care.